Hello YouTube, this is Bowtied Media, and today I've got a review of Kygo's Golden Hour. Golden Hour is Kygo's third studio album, which came out 2.5 years after his last one in 2017, which was Kids in Love, and then back in 2016 his debut album was Cloud 9. Kygo is not only one of the biggest names in the EDM industry right now, even as big as the music industry right now. He's way up there on the charts, and he produces a lot of really successful music. His style can be defined as tropical house. He does take more progressive and commercial approaches in some area, but it's very much tropical house, where a lot of the stuff is things that you see on a beach or kind of like the Ibiza kind of style of music. He hasn't strayed much away from this niche, and since then has pretty much become the forerunner and the torchbearer for the tropical house genre of music. This album is 18 tracks long, 1 hour in length, and has a feature for every single track on the album, sometimes even two. Relative to his last two projects, Kids in Love and Cloud 9, this album is a lot more closer to Cloud 9 in terms of track length and size. Kygo has always kind of been on my radar, but never really in a really good direction or really bad direction. He's always kind of been in that neutral middle ground where a lot of the stuff he produces, I know when I first listen to it, I kind of know what I'm getting myself into, and that's kind of the gist of, what Kygo produces. I think Kygo's style is so solidified to this point that he's handcuffed himself in terms of creativity, where he can no longer leave this tropical house genre style of music because his fans will not appreciate it that much and it won't be as successful as some of his other projects. But in that sense, it's no secret that a majority of EDM listeners just want that kind of music. They're not going to listen to an album all the way through and intently listen to every single second of an album. They want some playlist fillers, and they want something that kind of embodies the summer vibes. And considering this is kind of true the bigger you get as a name in the EDM industry, Kygo definitely embodies that idea. But this album has definitely solidified the fact that he wants to create successful and pop music rather than have more creative liberties with what he produces. I find albums like these to be really hard to rank, harder than anything actually, because everything is just meh. It's just neutral. There aren't standout tracks, there aren't really, really bad tracks. Everything's just kind of in this middle range, where when you listen to it like all the way through, 18 tracks an hour long, by the end of it, it feels like a grind. You feel like it really, really takes a toll on you to actually listen through all of the project, all the songs. But when you listen to it individually and you have it, as an actual playlist filler, it actually I really enjoy this track. It's really hard to hate any song on this album, but I think it's even harder to really love anything on this album. But when it comes to figuring out where I want to rank this album, I just need to note that every single song sounds the exact same, and it follows the exact same formula. What Kygo loves to do is have a bar of an instrumental to intro the song, and then go into a verse 1, and then after the verse 1 is done, he takes the last sentence from that verse, or last line, and then creates it into vocal chops, and then that vocal chops builds for either 8 to 16 bars, normally 8 bars, or 4 to 8, I guess sometimes too, it can be even shorter than that, and then drops it into a tropical house drop, and then rinse and repeat with verse 2, and then rinse and repeat with an hour's worth of music, 18 tracks long. For me, the only tracks that really show signs of real life and real creativity in this entire project are the first and second last, that being The Truth and Hurting. It's really hard for me to believe that this album was created to be an album, created to be listened to all the way front to back, because it just doesn't sound like it, doesn't seem like it. There aren't really any thematic elements or narrative, plots throughout the entire album, and so it just feels like a collection of tracks more than an album. For me, at least, if I listen to the album top down, rather than individually as in playlists or just a song here and there, I really don't like the album as it goes. But when I listen to a song isolated and individually, I do enjoy the tracks. So it's really hard to figure out where I want to place this album. Again, I think it's a really big indicator in the fact that Kygo has very much got down pat where he wants his music to be and what his audience is. The people that he is making this music for aren't people that are going to be like me, that sit down and listen to the whole album top to bottom. They're people that put it in playlists, people that really only listen to it during the summer times and their kind of beach fun vibes, or when they go to Ibiza, I guess. But he knows what his audience is, and he's creating the music for that rather than, I think, taking his own creative liberties. Something that I thought was a bit of a downfall for this project were actually the features. all of them seem to be kind of half-baked performances where they were just thrown in the towel, and or Kygo's like, hey, hit me up with something that you've got in the bank vault or something deep in the things that you're never going to use. And he just took a track, added the vocal chops to it, and then created a song. To me, this album is the epitome of neutral, of what it means to have a track that's really not good, but also really not bad, and something that's just kind of there. And for that reason, this album, as you would guess, would get a 5. But let me know what you guys think about this album. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I really wrong? Really right? I want to know what you guys think. Also, give me some comments if you guys want to see more albums or something else that you'd like to see me cover in a different video. I'm going to be going over stuff that I've listened to back in 2020 before I started this channel, which I think will be a lot of fun. But I will see you guys in another video.